we're seated or we're standing, we've got our feet about hip distance apart, and our knees are over our heels, which is pretty important. I see this a lot in poses where the heels are behind the knees, and that's going to change things up. Now, I have some students like in our in-person class, and they're super tall, and chairs are not necessarily made for people who are on the shorter end or the taller end. And so one thing you can do if you're taller is place a blanket or two on the chair so it lifts you up. Ooh, that feels good. And I don't even have long legs, or as long as some. But the hips, when they're at least the level of the knees or a little bit higher, this is very important for the lower back. Really, then it's important for the neck because it travels all the way up. We don't want the back doing that, even if it's mild. I don't know if you can see, but this is more of a flattened lower back curve. And we don't want that. We have 4 curves in our spine. And if they're too accentuated either way, that's going to hurt our back. So we're going to bring that into the idea of how do we help our lower back, which turns into how do we help our neck. So now our hips are higher than our knees, or at least level. Now, if you're short, by the way, or you have short legs, it's not a judgment, but putting your feet on blocks if your feet don't touch down is a great thing to do. Now, for me, this doesn't work because now my knees are higher than my hips. And we want our knees about the level of our hips. Then if we travel up the rib cage, if it goes forward, that's going to throw everything off. I don't know if you can see that. As well as this is going to throw everything off when the ribs go too far back or they go too far forward. And that's going to have an impact on the shoulders. We want our shoulders to stack about over our hips, and we want our ears to stack about over our shoulders. Now, is it going to be perfect? No, because we are human beings. Everybody's body is different. But this will help the neck. So a lot of people, when we say, and it's hard to see you guys online, but when the neck is doing this, that causes neck pain. When the neck is doing this, it causes neck pain. When the chin is up like this and the neck is crunching, that causes neck pain. And of course, the way we sleep can certainly have an impact on it. I'm simplifying. I'm just giving general guidelines here. So let's start with awareness of breath, and we'll tie in the gardening and the lower back and the neck into our practice. So let's roll our shoulders up and take them back and sit tall. So lengthen the space in between your hips, the crest of your hip and your lower ribs, as though you had a stick in there. And then notice your belly. So the belly is going to protect, or the core is going to protect the lower back. So if the core is not engaged, it could be like this or like this. But almost always when we're sitting upright, you are engaging core. So take a breath in through the nose and out through the nose. Breathe in and breathe out. In and out, flowing through the inhales and the exhales, nice and smooth. In and out through the nostrils. Breathe in and breathe out. Take a breath in. On your next breath out, let's go right to that khaki or beak breath. So you take an inhale in, and on the exhale, blow it out like the candles. You're blowing out candles on a cake. Notice what happens to your belly as you blow out. Try that again. Take an inhale. On your exhale, put your hand at your belly, blow out. You'll feel the belly pull in. That's gonna help support your lower back. The belly pulls in, and you can see there's a little bit of support to this curve in the spine. Breathe in, hacky breath. Breathe out. Breath is in, and breath is out. Let's mirror our movement with our breath. Inhale, take the right arm up towards the sky. And then exhale and flow it downward. Yes. Inhaling, left arm lifts up. And exhale and flow it downward. Inhale, both arms flow up. And exhale, flow them down. Let's reach them maybe a little bit higher up. And exhale and float the arms down. Breathe in, arms lift maybe a little higher. So you're going towards your range of motion, nobody else's. No pushing through to get the arm as high as possible. We respect our body where it's at. Exhale, flow the arms down. Now take them out to the side like they're wings. Good, maybe lift the top of the wrists and the hands. You're making a V. And then exhale, take them down and around so we're forward. And flow down and outward. And breathe in and breathe out. Exhale, flow down. Inhale, open out to the side. One more. Take your arms forward. Out to the side. Turn the palms upright. Beautiful. Bring your thumb on the inside of the palms and wrap your fingers around. And circle around and about. As you breathe in and as you breathe out, circle the other way. Knuckles circling other way. Good. Take the hands to the thighs. One of my favorite for lower back, and it continues to be and probably always will be, is cat-cow. So we're going to round our spine. The chin's coming down towards the chest, and the lower back is angling downward. And then for the cow pose, we lift our shoulders, roll them back, and take the sitting bones back. So now that lower back curve is accentuated. Exhale, round. See if you can feel the stretch here. Where is the stretch in cat pose? Is it between the shoulder blades? Is it along the spine? Can you feel a lengthening through the lower back? Then on your inhale, when you go into the cow pose, where do you feel the impact of the movement? This is more of a back bend. You might feel a stretch on the front of your body. You might feel the shoulder blades as they move in towards each other. And now we're lengthening the sit bones back. They're moving back. So the curve is now that way. And then we've got our concave cat and our convex cow. Exhale, round one way. Inhale, round the other. Come back to center and circle around on your hips. And feel how the core engages when you lean back. So we lean back, the core engages. Reverse the circle. As you circle around, feel the right and left sitting bones. Breathe in and breathe out. Come to center. Now let's take our arms out as we roll and notice if the core engages a little bit more. And then reverse it. So with the arms out, do you feel any difference? Let's take the arms forward and notice if we feel any difference with the core. Round the spine, round You're making circles on your hips. And then reverse it. Does it feel different with the arms forward? Just notice, how does it feel as you circle around, make some nice big circles, come back to center, float the arms out to the side and skyward. Spread your fingers. Now reach your fingers up, 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 up. You're going to feel your shoulders lift towards your ears. Keep your arms long. Drop your shoulders. That should help the neck. When you go ahead, crunch it up because we're doing it purposely. Take the shoulders towards your ears, crunch your face. Make all kinds of faces, crunching eyes, nose, mouth, cheeks, and then drop your shoulders and feel that relax. So when we tense up our shoulders, it's going to bother our neck. Exhale, float your arms down in a half circle. Good. Let's drop the right ear down towards the right shoulder. And then let your left arm dangle. Breathe in. Breathe out. Tone your belly. Tone your belly on that exhale. So exhale, exhale, exhale. Tone belly means pull it in a little bit. Inhale, come to center. If we pull it in too much, it's a crunch. We're not looking for that. It's a toning. So inhale, exhale, pull the belly in without the crunch. Actually, let's try it with the crunch. Let your belly expand on the inhale. Now exhale, pull it in, contract the belly in. That's not a bad thing, but notice what happens. The body starts to round when we're crunching like that. We wouldn't want to do that all the time. Let that go. Now take a breath in, and on your exhale, tone. So go somewhere between untoned and crunching in the middle. Shoulders are up and back. We got long sides of the body. Now let's take the left ear down towards the left shoulder and allow the right arm to just dangle. Try not to control any movement. Just let it dangle. Take a breath in and a breath out. Feel the belly tone on your next exhale and then lift your head back up. Gaze towards the right. Breathe in. Breathe out. Gaze down over your right shoulder. So right about here, looking down right over the shoulder. Lift the head up. Turn the head to the left so your nose is towards your left shoulder. Breathe in. Breathe out. Gaze down now over the left shoulder. Breathe in. You can see your chest rising. First belly, then middle rib cage, then chest is expanding on the inhale. Exhale, there's a softening without a slumping. Turn the ear back towards the shoulder and lift the head back up. Now pretend you have a paintbrush on the edge of your nose and you're going to paint a circle. So draw a circle with your paintbrush that's on the edge of your nose. Use your favorite color paints. Mine is purple, as you can see. Come back to center and do it the other way. You know, your favorite color can change with your mood. And return to neutral. Let's inhale, take the arms up. Exhale, hands to the hips. Lean forward. Roll the shoulders on your back. Pull your belly in and up. And then press your hips towards the back of the chair. Then we're going to push down through our feet, rise up, arms up overhead, and exhale, first twist of the day. Take your left hand outside your right thigh, your right hand to the seat of the chair, back of the chair, or at an angle. Push your left hand into your right thigh. You can gaze towards your right without torquing the neck. So where is the place where you're turning, you're getting a little stretch in the neck, but you're not feeling like you're crunching it or torquing it? Where is that place? That's where you need to be. Breathe in, breathe out. Inhale, come to center, arms drop. They lift up, spread fingers, relax shoulders. Find your twist towards the left. Right hand outside the thigh, left hand, whichever placement you prefer. Roll the right shoulder up and back. Keep long through the sides of your body. So that means you're making space from your hips all the way up to your arm domes. Breathe in. Breathe out. Breath is in. And breath is out. Inhale, back to center. Arms lift high. Exhale, hands at your heart. Beautiful. So one of the things that we can do for our spine is make sure that we do a forward fold, a back bend, and our twists and our side bends. So we've done some of them. We haven't done all of them. We've done twist. We've done forward. We've done back bend. That's back bend is the cow pose. So now let's make sure we do a side bend. Inhale, arms up, push down through both feet. Take your left hand to your right wrist or hand down by your side. Holding the chair is always a great place right here. So we're going to take a breath in. On the breath out, tone the belly. So we're not doing this, right? The ribs aren't protruding forward. They're going back. That's engaging our core. Breathe in. As you breathe out, tone your pelvic floor and your core. So pull your muscles in and up. Breathe in. Breathe out. Maybe take your hand to your wrist as you stretch. Breathe in. Breathe out. Inhale, back upright. And do it again. Keep long through both sides of the body. We don't want to dump here. When we take our side bend, actually this is a side bend to the left because I'm mirroring you. We want to make sure that we stay strong so that we don't fall over like that. All right, inhale, come on up. Exhale, flow your arms down. Circle the shoulders around and about. That should feel nice. Breath is in and breath is out. Inhaling now, left arm lifts. We're going to take a side bend towards the right. You can keep your right hand down or lift it. They could be like this, so about shoulder distance apart, or you can grab your wrist if that's available to you. Grow tall. Push down through your feet and your hips. As you inhale, exhale, pull the pelvic floor and the belly in and up and side bend now towards your right. Breath is in. Breath is out. Breathing in and breathing out. Inhale, rise up. We're going to do it one more time. Relax the shoulders. And if your arms get tired, please take them down. Please take them down. Exhaling, side bending towards your right. Breathe in. Breathe out. Rise up. Exhaling, hands to the heart. You guys are awesome. Let's loosen up our hip flexors. Get some of our other joints moving around here. Bringing the right knee in and up towards you. Big hug. We're tall. So as we pull the knee in towards us, notice how that supports your back. Grow even taller. Push down now through the left foot. We're tall. Circle the knee around and about. As you breathe in and as you breathe out. Yeah, feel the sensation. Notice any tightness, not with judgment. How about reverse the circle? There's no judgment because, you know, every day your joints can feel a little bit different. Sometimes the heat impacts us. Sometimes the cool impacts us. Sometimes what we did yesterday, if you traveled, if you were in the car a lot, pull the knee in, take your chin to your chest like you're going to touch your nose to your knee, bend your elbows out to the side, and then exhale, lower the leg down. Extend the leg. Right heel is away from you. Point your toes. Ooh, that was a snap, crackle, pop. Pull the toes in towards you. Press them away and circle the ankle around. It's a little stiff and it's available to you. You could bring the foot up onto your other thigh and circle around and about. If it feels really stiff, then please do that because we want to get that range of motion in there. No forcing, just gentle movement. As you breathe, lubricate that joint. Good. And then pull the knee in towards you and let's extend the leg out to the side. So now we're making, it might be a 90-degree angle and it might not. It might be 45-degree angle. So it's going to depend on the inner thighs. If your inner thighs are super tight, it's only going to go so wide. Take your hands to the top of your thighs, roll the shoulders up and back, lean forward, sitting bones back. Breathe in, breathe out. Sitting bones are moving back, inner groins are moving back, shoulder blades are on the back. We're going to push down, rise up, hands come into this cactus pose. Cactus pose, the elbows are just lower than the shoulders. Take a breath in. On the breath out, hands back to the thighs. Push the hands down into the thighs. Roll the shoulders up and back. As you exhale, tone your belly a little bit so it's not too much of a lower back curve. Now feel a lengthening through the back of your neck. So if your neck is down, if your chin is down like that, you're not going to be able to bring your shoulder blades on the back. If the neck is back like that, you definitely are going to have trouble bringing the shoulder blades on the back. So we want to feel like our neck is long. If you were to take your hand back there, you should feel no, crinkling or bending, or it should feel like a straight neck. Push down through your feet. Arms rise up into your cactus. Extend your arms long. Bring the right arm over the left. Give yourself a big hug. Fingers are around, touching shoulder blades. Open it up. Big, wide open. And other way. Left arm over right. Give yourself a little massage back there. Push your fingertip or your little tips, pads of your fingers into your shoulder blades. And notice if there's any tenderness. Release. Now let's extend the right leg long. You might have to adjust yourself on the chair so that you don't feel like the chair is cutting you in your inner thigh. And then inhale, float your arms wide. Bend your elbows, maybe touch your fingertips behind your head. Try not to, though, take the head forward. If the head's coming forward, you don't need to bring your fingertips to your head. Let them be where they're at. There can be space in between your fingers and your head. Extend the arms wide. Bring your left hand to your hip. Let's tilt down. This reminds me of that teapot. I'm a little teapot. Right arm's down. Roll the top shoulder up and back. And maybe lift the left arm to the sky. Now make sure that your left heel is under your knee and the knee isn't falling open or in like that. So we want it straight up and down over your heel. Breathe in, breathe out, push down, rise up, release your hands, bend your right knee and bring it back in. Place yourself back in the center of your chair. Let's do a few cat-cows. Round the spine one way and then the other. Notice how the chin is tucked on that
Just
cap.
trying to get this yoga.
Did somebody have a question? Lift the shoulders up and back for that cow. Come back to center, lifting the left knee towards you. You can have your hands in front of the shin, or maybe you've got your hands back behind the thigh. Some people like to use a strap around the back of their thigh to lift the leg up, and that's fine as well. Breathe in, breathe out. Let's circle the ankle around and about. And this is where you might place the ankle on top of the thigh to use your hand to circle the ankle, but do what's best for you. Some of you might feel like you've got plenty of range of motion without placing your ankle on your thigh. Reverse it. Keep sitting nice and tall. This is part of the work, right? Try not to be back on your sitting bones and too far forward on your sitting bones, right about in the center. And let's circle the knee around and about. Make some circles one way. Yep, it's a heavy, heavy leg. No matter how you look at it, this bone is the heaviest bone in the body. So no matter whose body it is, that femur bone, as you circle it around, you're going to feel the weight. Keeping tall, and then perhaps reverse the circle. Good for the brain to circle it the other way. And maybe you reverse it each time. Just have a little bit of fun with that. A little bit of fun. And then bring the knee on in. And let's extend the leg long. Push your heel down. Lift tall. Point the toes away. Pull it in. Point them away. So you're curling your toes downward for the away, and then your toes come upward for the flexion. Toes are pointing towards the sky, right? Not necessarily all the way. Point away, lift them up, hands at your hips. Let's lengthen forward and pull the elbows slightly in towards you and lift back up. Drag the heel back in. We're going to open up this knee out to the side, and we might want to move our hips a little bit towards the left. So make your adjustments for your inner thighs. Bring your hands to the top of your thighs. Roll the shoulders up and back. Lean forward. Roll the shoulders up and back again and feel your shoulder blades come on your back. Breathe in. As you breathe in, you're going to feel the breath go across your chest. On your exhale, tone your belly a little bit. Push down through your feet. Inhale, hands rise into cactus. Beautiful. Exhale, place the palms down. Lean forward, so we're hinging from the hip. Roll the shoulders up and back. Neck is super duper long. Think about shining your heart, the center of your heart forward and upward. So the heart is starting to puff up a little bit. As you do that, you can push your hands down and pull your elbows towards each other. That's your back bend. Push down, rise up, extending the left leg. Again, adjust yourself on the chair. Right knees forward, left legs out to the side. Float your arms outward. Beautiful. Let's bend the elbows, maybe touch the head. Open it up. Bring it on in, bending the elbows. Open it up. Tip the left arm down and the right hand to your hip. So you're leaning slightly back. Now, where should the head and the neck be here? If it drops too far, you're going to just feel this dangling, maybe pulling on the neck. If it's lifted to up like that, it's just going to feel weird along everything. Like I just felt a pull down my arm from that. We want to think that the spine is at a diag all the way up to the neck and through the head. So you're making a diag. Maybe the right arm lifts up. Breathe in, breathe out. Now, you can gaze down. If that's best for your neck, you can gaze forward, about eye level. You can gaze up if that's okay with your neck. But we don't want to push through neck pain. It's not fun. We don't want to do that. We want to practice non-harming. Push down, rise up, pull the foot back in, and bring the knee forward. And we're going to start to practice some standing poses. If it's not for you today, you can keep seated. So whatever best for you. In order to come up, I'm going to rock forward and back and bring the block over here. But you can, you don't have to use the block, and you might, those of you who are familiar with the strap around the thighs, you might do that as well. We're going to rock it forward and rock it back. Breathe in, breathe out. Breath is in and breath is out. And when you are ready, think about lifting your hips, push down through your feet. Weight goes towards the heels. Hands could be on a chair in front of you. Hands could be at your heart and palms touching. Either way is fine. And then let's exhale and slowly lower down. And you might have another hand position that you prefer, and that's totally fine as well. We're going to go up again. So remembering, if you need a chair in front of you for balance, take it. Take it. Nobody's watching you. You're in your practice place in your house or wherever you're at. So you might have the chair in front of you as you rock forward and back. And you might lift just a millimeter, or you might come up a little bit more. And maybe one hand stays on the chair, both do, or you lift them up and forward. Breathe in, breathe out. Say, I love you, thighs. That's probably where you're feeling this. Weight is back in your heels. And then have a seat. Now I want to talk about, someone brought up gardening. So in gardening, there's different ways to go down, right? But one of the ways is the yoga squat and then getting back up. So I'm going to exaggerate just for the sake of showing you, but here's yoga squat, right? And I've been doing this since I was a kid, and it's really comfortable for me, but it's not for a lot of people. They do make those benches for gardening, which can be helpful to sit on. And some people are probably kneeling something like this instead of the squat. So when you do that and you're going to come up, you want to make sure your core is engaged. And chair pose is kind of like a squat. So we're going to practice with, you're in chair pose. You take an inhale. On your exhale, tone your belly as you rise back up. Super important that we do that. Also, like when you're lifting something, it would be the same thing. Something heavy, you bend down to get it, right? Your knees are bending. Then you want to engage your core, push down through your feet to rise up so we don't injure our back. Let's try that a few times with the chair pose. So we're going to come forward and we're going to lift. When you're ready, come on up. Feel the sitting bones move back. Feel the weight in your heels. Feel your thighs working. Now, take an inhale. On your exhale, pull your belly in. Push down through your feet. Belly's pulling in. Engage your core. That's going to help your back so we don't injure it. So let's do that again. This time we'll go from standing to seated and back up again. So exhale, we're in chair pose. Take it back. Take those sitting bones and hips back, back, back. Your hands can be on your thighs. They can be in your heart. That's not going to change this up. Breathe in, As you breathe out, tone your pelvic floor. Pull those pelvic floor muscles in and up. Feel the belly tone. Push down through your feet. Rise on up. That's something to practice as you're coming up and down with the, when you're gardening or just when you're lifting something, we really want to make sure to bend our knees and make sure we're feeling like we're strong. We don't want to give out here or we're surely going to injure our back. And keep the object as close as you can to you as you're lifting is another suggestion. Because if it's out here like this, that's what's going to happen. We just can't. So pull it in towards you. All right, let's move towards doing this a few times up and down, and then we'll move on to something else. So sitting bones back and down, have a seat. Slowly lower down. Belly tones. Rock forward and back. How about we swing our arms? Swing them forward and back. Inhale forward, exhale back. Swing it forward and back and all around. Ready? Come on up. Sitting bones back. Yes. Take an inhale. On your exhale, push down through your feet. Tone your belly. Hands at your heart. Yes, that's it. That's it. You got it. Let's keep all this and move into our chair dog or wall dog pose. So you're going to face the chair in your mountain pose. Feet are hip distance apart. If you're in a chair, you can practice with another chair in front of you. Lean your arms forward, lengthen your spine. All right. Hands on the chair. Bending knees. Walk it back. Bend the knees. Take the sitting bones back. Toes forward. Feel a nice stretch through the spine. If your shoulders are hurting, bend your elbows. Come a little bit more in towards the chair. Bend knees. Sitting bones back. Play with straightening, but keeping sitting bones back and pressing them up. And bend the knees and slowly straightening. You may not straighten all the way because we don't want to round the lower back. And here we go. Bend, lengthen like your weight's going back a little bit. Keep pushing down through the balls of your feet though. And then let's walk our feet back towards the chair. Bring your hands to your heart. Wonderful. Let's play with goddess pose because goddess is one of those poses that if you do it enough, you go deep enough, you're in yoga squat. We're not necessarily doing that today, but yoga squat is a real important pose, by the way. A lot of developing countries, they sit in yoga squat to go potty, to eat, and to give birth. And a lot of these countries do not have, the people who live there do not have the back problems that we do as Americans. We sit a lot, right? So, and you know what? The squatty potty also gives a little bit of a yoga squat to help release, right? So any of you who use the squatty potty, that's helping bring in that yoga squat too. So here we are, and in fact, I'm going to show you a variation so you could do it in the chair. But here's our goddess. Take your feet wide, turn your toes out, bend your knees. Knees are over ankles and heels. Feel the center of your heels. Push down across the balls of the feet, and then press down, rise up. Now, a few things about alignment. We're going to keep the tone in the belly as we go down, and we're going to have our knees so they're like that. We don't want it falling out like that. I'm exaggerating. So as you bend, Generally, most people need to think about widening their knees. Please don't torque them. If it hurts, you might have to bring your feet in a bit, not turn out as much. Here we go. Bend your knees. They're coming over your ankles and heels. Drop your sitting bones down and back. And then think about pulling your pelvic floor muscles in and up. Feel the core tone as you exhale. Breath is in. Breath is out. Press down. Rise up. I'm going to turn my toes forward and bring them back in. Now you can practice that again, but I want to show you guys who are seated how you can practice squat in the chair. We're always trying to figure out different ways to do this kind of stuff. So one way is to put the yoga blocks down and then place our feet on these blocks. And now we're and you could make them even higher. This would be one way to practice yoga squat in the chair. So you need either books or blocks to do it. But certainly that would be a nice thing to do to get your body used to yoga squat. I'm gonna move these over here. And let's do a few more of our goddess poses. So if you were already in it, you might want to take a break. Then let's go back. Open the feet wide first. Push your heels away from you. Feel the strength in your legs. Let's do 5-pointed star on our way. So maybe you lift both arms up. You're in 5-pointed star. You guys are stars. Feel your shoulder blades on your back. Exhale, lower your arms down. Inhale, lift them. Maybe you gaze up, but if that's tough on your balance, then don't look all the way up. Exhale, arms down. Inhale, they lift up. Exhale, arms to T. Take your weight towards the right, so your ribs are moving to the right, back to center, and towards the left. Back to center, towards the right, and towards the left. Hands back to the chair, turn your toes out. We're going back into goddess. Bend the knees over middle toes, dropping the hips. We're going to do a few bounces. So exhale, hips lower down, on, let them go a little lower, then take an inhale. On your exhale, tone your pelvic floor and your bellies. Maybe lift one arm into cactus, or the other, or both. Woo, strengthening, strengthening, strengthening. If you go too deep, it's hard to get back up, so please don't do that. Hands maybe to the chair, push down, rise up. Turn all 10 toes forward and walk your feet back towards each other. We're going to lower down towards the earth. So part of gardening is going up and down, right? Because this kind of stuff where we're going down, rounding our back, that's going to hurt. So some of you might be coming down one knee and then the other. That is one way. Another way, and maybe you want a chair outside with you for support when you're doing your gardening. That would not be a bad idea to have this so you could go up and down. Another way to do it would be to bend your knees, take your sitting bones back, then lower one down and then the other. And then one other way would be to come into yoga squat. Let me see which you're going to see best. I guess maybe if I do it like that. But so you could have the chair, bend your knees, slowly come on down. Now this is only going to be for people who have range of motion. You can practice at home without going so far down. Some people put a roll underneath their feet, so it looks like this. And this helps them in that yoga squat. So you're at your chair, step one foot on the roll, and then the other, and bend your knees and practice coming on down. Maybe you don't go all the way down. That's okay. You could be right here. This would be a great place to practice. And then over time, you'll be able to get a little bit further. Maybe you won't ever get to yoga squat, but you're working towards it in the direction of. So everybody get down on the earth and let's practice by starting cat and cow. So slowly I'm coming down here. Walk ourselves out. We're in our table pose. Hands are just forward of shoulders. Round your spine for your cat. This should feel good. And then the cow. And the cat. And the cow. Good. One more. And come to neutral. Let's extend the right leg back. Push the heel away. Pull the knee in towards your belly, round into cat. Extend the leg back. Pull it in. Extend it back. Maybe bend the knee and try to pull your heel towards you. If you feel a cramp, extend it back out. Shake out the leg. Get rid of that cramp. Push the heel away. Press the knee in towards you. Round your spine. Extend back. Bend the knee. Maybe press the footprint up towards the sky. Let's pull the knee in. Round it about. And lower it down. Take a child pose so that you get a little break off your hands. So hips coming in the direction of the heels without necessarily going all the way back. Elbows can be bent or arms can be long. Get a nice stretch through the spine. And this is a nice place to massage the lower back, rock right and left. Breathe in and breathe out. And breath is in and breath is out. Let's rise back up. Extend the left leg long. Push the heel away. Get a nice stretch through that back calf. Rock it forward and back. Rock it forward and back. Lift the foot. Pull the knee in towards you. Extend it back. Bend the knee, pulling your heel towards your buttocks. It won't necessarily touch. That's fine. Extend it. Lower it down. Now, if your hands are getting tired, you can come down onto your forearms. Inhale, lift the leg. Pull the knee into your belly. Extend it back. Bend the knee. Pull the heel towards your buttocks. Let's bring the knee in and circle it around. Lower it down and come down onto our bellies. Let's come down onto our bellies. Really, one of the best things we can do is the Shalabhasana pose, as long as it's okay for you. No pain allowed. Not in my class, not in yoga, shouldn't be there. So you might come down on this blanket to support your lower back. You could have more than one blanket, make it a little bit thicker. We'll start in our Sphinx pose. So our shoulders are going to move back. We push down through our hands and our forearms. You also could karate chop with your pinkies down if that feels more accessible. And maybe rock your hips to find your center. We want a level pelvis. Now, same thing with that head. We don't want it dropping down. We don't want it kinking back. We want a nice long back of the neck. Let's turn the head towards the right. Inhale to center, towards the left. Inhale to center, breathe in, and breathe out. Let's lower on down. Stack your hands or your forearms. Take a breath in, and on your breath out, tone your belly. Lift one leg, stretch it back as you lift it. Keep your pelvis level. Exhale, lower it down. Inhale, lift it. Feel a tone in your hips. Exhale, lower it down. Inhale, it lifts. Feel the tone, 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 tone. Exhale, release. Let's do the other side. Pelvis is level. Breathe in. Breathe out. Belly tones. Lift leg. Stretch those toes back. Spread them. Hug your muscles to your bones. Exhale, lower down. Inhale, lift. So we're keeping a nice long spine. Exhale's toning the belly. Support your back. Release down. And another. Keep thinking about keeping that pelvis level. Your leg's not going to go high up. And it shouldn't. And exhale and release. Now, you might relax your head one way or the other, and that's fine. We're going to slowly press up. So we take our hands by our sides, pull our belly in on the exhale, and the hips back. Come towards a child pose. Towards a child pose. And then maybe you walk your fingertips forward. Now, you have to have the blanket under your knees or you're going to feel ouchies. You need a little cushion there. And you might look under one arm dome and then the other and back to center. And slowly walk your hands in and come on down. Now I want to show seated because some of you are sitting down while you're gardening. So you might have one of those benches, which is really nice because the bench, you can either sit in that yoga squat or, so here's what it would look like, or your feet are back like this. So if you're sitting on that bench, and it might be higher than this, this would be a really nice way to garden. Some of you are, so notice how I have a lower back curve. If it comes back like that, that's where the pain's going to start. So another way is to sit down. But if you're going to sit down, you want to make sure you're sitting on something that lifts your hips when you're gardening. It could be a blanket or a pillow or something like this or a block. So you want to make sure when you're sitting to garden that your hips are up and then you're going to play. I don't think this is the way you're doing it. Personally, I'm guessing you're not. But we need to make sure whatever position we're in, that the knees are at least level or lower than the hips. Let's come down onto our backs. Always running out of time, I'm telling you. So we're going to slowly come on down. And you might have a blanket under your head. Feet are parallel, hip distance apart. Rock your pelvis forward and back. Those of you who've gone to PT are probably familiar with the pelvic tilts. Rock it forward and rock it back. Forward and back. This is very nice for your lower back as well. And it's going to be the same thing. When you take your pelvis back, tone your belly with that exhale. Inhale forward. Exhale back. Inhale, the pelvis is forward, moving up. If you take your fingers to the top of the pelvis, you can feel where it's moving. This pose can be done seated, on your belly, or on your back. So here we are. Find that middle point between forward and back. Push down through your feet. Take a breath in. Tone your belly. Push down through your feet. Rise up into bridge. You can walk your feet your hands underneath you, or you can bend your elbows. You want to make sure your neck is not flat, so you want to curve underneath your neck. So you should be able to place your hand underneath your neck. If you're feeling the mat touch the back of your neck, it's too flat. You need to come on down. And I will be happy to help you with that. Now our hips are toning. We're pushing down through our heels. Pull the heels towards you. You're going to feel even more toning. And exhale, slowly lower the hips down. Shake out one leg. If you felt any hamstring cramping, come on. We'll go one more time. If you know you cramp, it might be better to stretch your legs before doing the bridge pose. We're going to go up one more time. Push down through the feet. Lift the hips up. Pull the heels towards you. Feel a toning in those hips. Feel a toning in your thighs. You may be feeling your hamstrings. Come on down. So another yoga squat is happy baby. Watch this. Let's do happy baby. It's the same pose, but it's on your back. So you could do this in bed or on the yoga mat. Bring your knees in towards you. Your knees go wide. They're going towards your shoulders, and you are in yoga squat, which we've been talking about a lot throughout this class today. You can rock right and left and massage your spine while you're on your back. You can weave your arms back behind your legs. You might pull your knees down towards your shoulders. That's your dead bug or happy baby pose, whichever one you want to call it. And then release when you're ready. Let's stretch our legs just one more time. Bring the knee in, hands behind the thigh. Push the thigh away as the heel rises up. If you have a tie, you can put the tie around your foot instead. We're pushing the thigh away as we press the hands into the back of your hamstrings. So we're lengthening these guys back here. And hold that for about 30 seconds. As you breathe in and out, nice and soft. You want to make sure your lower back is not flat, but it's also not too much of a curve. So we got to find that middle ground where your belly tones. If the leg needs to come down a little bit, that's okay. That's okay. You can experiment with bending the knee or lengthening through the back. Bring it on in. Other side. Left knee in towards you. Hands behind hamstrings. I'm interlacing my fingers. You don't have to. You could also massage the back of your hamstrings to kind of warm them up. Tell them how much you love them. And then press the heel up. As you straighten the leg, press the thigh away from you. Hug the muscles to the bone. Breathe in. Breathe out. Breath is in. And breath is out. Noticing maybe one leg feels heavier than or I should say more rigid. Not quite as flexible as the other. That's okay. If you're feeling like this isn't enough, you can extend the bottom leg. That's okay, but you want to make sure you're first getting the full extension without straightening the bottom leg. And then we'll bring the knee back in. Final spinal twist, knees fall to the right. Arms can be in a T or a cactus. Adjust your shoulders so you can feel You might need to put a blanket or a block or pillow underneath your forearm on your left side. I like to work to press the shoulder blades down. You may turn your head the opposite way of your knees, so knees to the right, head to the left. But that's not a requirement if it doesn't feel good on your neck. I would stay for 5 to 10 breaths. And then when you're ready, bring the knees in towards you, drop them towards the left. You can always check out, am I lined up, by kind of just support your head, gaze up and see if your spine is lining up with your hips. So you could draw a line down your spine to your hips. If that way it gives you an idea if you need to shimmy your spine or your torso a certain way. Maybe turning the head the opposite way. Breathe in. And breathe out. And you will find your way towards your final resting pose. This time of year, I'm getting a lot of people with swelling in their legs and their ankles and their feet. I highly recommend taking your feet up onto a chair, or if you're in bed, put bolsters underneath your knees and really get those legs up. So they're above your heart. And if not, you want to practice maybe a little hip opening, you might lie down and lying down butterfly. So I'll show you what that looks like just in case that's what you want to do. And this would be like a lying down butterfly. You might put blocks underneath your knees so they're supported, because you want to be able to relax. Shavasana is about relaxation. Relaxations. You want to be able to let the body go from holding any stress. So either feet on a chair, bolster under knees, maybe some lying down butterfly, and then finding your way to a more neutral pose with your legs on a bolster or any other way that might be good for you. And take your rest. Take your rest. It's really important. I know your days are busy, but please make sure the end of the yoga practice is that rest. You really want to take it. It's the way for the body to restore and renew and absorb all that work that you've done. So I understand. And anytime you need to go before this class is over, you can always stop, do your restoration pose, your Shavasana, and then move on with your day. So find a nice relaxed breath in your restorative pose of choice. Breath is in and breath is out. Soft breath in and soft breath out. I highly encourage you to stay in this pose for 5 minutes, 10 minutes, maybe more if you have it on this summer, it's almost summer, this late spring weekend. The end of our practice, you can stay in your pose, but I will close it out with my palms at heart center, reflecting and honoring the light in each of you and all those you know and love. Each time you look at someone, remembering, see their light in their eyes and their face as you interact with them. And remember that same light is within you. Namaste, everybody. Have a wonderful, wonderful weekend.